Hello, Shalom, and welcome to How to Pronounce and Say in Hebrew. And in this video, we will read Song of the Sea, Part 2, חלק ב', שמות פרק ט"ו, verses 10 to 19, 10 עד 19. You can find Part 1 in שיעור 16, Lesson 16. So chapter 15 from the book of Exodus, verses 1 to 9, is in lesson 16. For those who forgot or haven't mastered yet the Hebrew alphabet, print form, and Nikud, you can watch lesson 1 and 2, and I will put the links in the description box below. I will read it quickly before we go through all the verses, so you will know what to expect and it will sound familiar. So here goes. נשפת ורוחך כי שמו ים, צללו כעופרת במים אדירים. מי כמוך באלים, אדוני, מי כמוך נעדר בקודש, נורא תהילות עושה פלא. נטית ימינך תבלעמו ארץ. נחית וחסדך, עמזו גאלת. נהלת ועוזך אל דנבי קודשך. שמעו עמים ירגזון. חיל אחז יושבי פלשת, אז נבלו אלופי אדום, אלי מואב יוחזמו רעד, נמוגו כל יושבי כנען. תיפול עליהם אימתה ופחד, בגדול זרועך ידמו כאבן, עד יעבור עמך אדוני, עד יעבור עמזו קנית, תביאמו ותתאמו בהר נחלתך, מכון לשבטך פעלת, אדוני, מקדש, אדוני כוננו ידיך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. כי בא סוס פרעה ברכבו ובפרשיו בים, וישב אדוני עליהם את מי הים, ובני ישראל הלכו ביבשה, בתוך הים. The English translation is from the King James Version. Thou didst blow with thy wind, the sea covered them, they sank as lead in the mighty waters. So we're talking to God. Nashafta veruchacha. So this is the verb, and we're talking ata nashafta in one word. You did blow, you did blow, you did this. Nashafta. Veruchacha. I remind you, lesson 13, pronoun. We can say this in one word. With thy wind. Wind is ruach. Chaf sofit. הרוח שלך, and with the, it's the bet here, ורוחך. kisamo yam. Yam is sea. Kisamo is the verb with a pronoun. Kisa otam, in one word, kisamo. Tsalelu. We're talking about the Egyptians. They sank. Tsalelu. It's from the poal litzlol, to sink. Tsalelu. כעופרת, lead, as lead, כעופרת, כמו עופרת. במים, מים is water, and in the, במים. אדירים, mighty. We can say mighty God, Elohim אדירים, and here אדירים is the adjective of the water. במים אדירים. So, נשפת ורוחך, כי שמו ים, צללו כעופרת במים אדירים. Verse 11, Who is like unto thee, O Lord, among the gods? Who is like thee, glorious in holiness, fearful in praises, doing wonders? Here the poet is praising God, saying that there is no one like you, God. Mi chamocha. Mi is who. Chamocha, like you. And I remind you that there is no dagesh in the kaf, because sometimes in ancient Hebrew, in the Bible, though it is otiot beget kefet, right, kaf here, and it because it comes after yod, otiot ehevi, there is no dagesh. So like you, mi chamocha, ba'elim, in all the gods, Elim is gods. Adonai, the Lord. And suddenly you see that there is a dagesh, mi kamocha, because it is the flow of the Hebrew. So in a poetic atmosphere, I guess, it sounds better that this word with dagesh and here without dagesh. So mi kamocha, ne'edar bakodesh, glorious in holiness. If you remember the word adirim, Aleph Daled Resh, and here Aleph Daled Resh, like same origin. Ne'edar, like glorious. Kodesh is holy. Bakodesh. Nora tehilot. Tehila in singular is fame, and here fearful in praises. So Nora could be awful and fearful. And tehilot, this is also the meaning, fame and praise, something really, really great. Oseh fele. Oseh is from the verb la'asot, doing. And here again, no dagesh, because it comes after hey. But in nowadays Hebrew, I will say pele. But here in the Bible, fele, because it comes after ot ehevi. Oseh fele. Doing wonders. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha ne'edar b'kodesh, nora tehilot, ose fele. Natita yemincha. Natita is the verb, stretched. To stretch is to turn to the side or stretch your hand. In this sentence, we understand that the poet is talking about the hand metaphorically, because right hand, right? Yemincha, yamin shelcha. And here we understand the kamatz, and also the kamatz here, that the poet is talking to God, which is a male. I'm sorry, women. Tivlaemo aretz. Again, the pronouns in one word. This is the verb. Tivla otam. Tivlaemo. Swallowed them. The Egyptians, the enemies. Aretz. So this is the earth. Eretz is also land. And this is what I was talking about in the last video about tzurat hefsek. Form of hefsek. That sometimes, because this is poetry, instead of the original word, we change the nikud, because it is poetically, more poetically. So aretz instead of eretz. Natita yemincha, tivlaemo aretz. So it's like God does like, huh, and then the enemies, poof. Verse 13. So let's see the first part of the verse. Thou in thy mercy hast led forth the people which thou hast redeemed. So the poet again is addressing God. Nachita vechasdecha. So this is the verb. Ata hincheta. Ata nachita. You have led. Lehanchot is from the verb to guide. Vechasdecha. Chesed is mercy. Hachesed shelcha vechasdecha, with thy mercy. Amzu, these people, the Jewish people, yes? The poet is talking about the Jewish people. This people. Ga'alta, that you have saved, is from the verb lig'ol, to save, to redeem. Nehalta ve'ozcha, right? Thou hast guided them in thy strength unto thy holy habitation. So nehalta ve'ozcha. This is the verb. Thou hast guided. It's like nachita, the same meaning. So you have guided them. But here from the verb lenahel. Ve'ozcha. Oz is strength. Ha'oz shelcha ve'ozcha. With your strength. El, to, unto, to, neve kodshecha. Neve is a home, a place where someone lives, reside. Kodshecha, hakodesh shelcha, your holy, right? So, to your holy place, your holy home. Nachita vechazdecha, amzu ga'alta, nehalta ve'ozcha el neve kodshecha. This is kamatz katan. So, it's not ka, it is ko, kodshecha. Verse 14, the people shall hear and be afraid. Sorrow shall take hold on the inhabitants of Palestina. So, the people, amim, right? Amim in plural. And this is the verb, sham'u, shall hear. When all the other people heard about what happened, what did they do? Irgazun. This is the verb. Is from lehitragez, the infinitive, lehitragez or ragaz. But in the Bible, the meaning was to be afraid, to be worried. Nowadays, Hebrew, lehitragez, it's to be upset. But in ancient Hebrew is to be afraid. So when the people heard about what happened and about the strength of God, they were very, very afraid. Chil achaz. So here they say that this is sorrow. Chil is also fear, but also anguish. So the people who were in Palestina, like Plashet, it's an old people that were called Plishtim. But here this is also Tzurat Hefsek, Plashet. Instead of Plishtim, the poet wrote Plashet. Yoshvei is from the verb Lashevet, to reside. So Yoshvei Plashet. Sham'u amim, irgazun, chil achaz, yoshvei plashet. Achaz, it's the verb, take hold on. It's like the fear grabbed them. Verse 15, then the dukes of Edom shall be amazed, the mighty men of Moab, trembling, shall take hold upon them, all the inhabitants of Canaan shall melt away. So then, as shall be amazed, nivhalu, got scared, from the verb lehibahel, nivhal, shoresh, bet hey lamed, hem nivhalu, right? Alufei Edom nivhalu. Alufei is from aluf. Aluf is champion or first leader of a group in biblical Hebrew, and in modern Hebrew, it's a senior military rank in the Israeli Defense Forces for officers. So, alufim, the plural, alufei Edom, ha'alufim shel Edom. Edom is an ancient kingdom in the region. Elei Moav, so the mighty men of Moab, another ancient kingdom in the region. So ha'elim shel Moav, yochazemo ra'ad. Ra'ad, like fear, they trembled. This is achaz otam ra'ad. Again, achaz aleph chet zayin, achaz otam. in one word. We can say, Achaz bahem, achaz otam, ra'ad. They were trembling. Namogu, this is the verb. Here, melt away. Lehimog, namogu, like they vanished. And it relates to the Kol Yoshvei Canaan, all the inhabitants of Canaan. And here Canaan, again, because it comes after Yod, Ot Ehevi. But usually we will say Canaan in modern Hebrew, but this is poetry. So all the people who reside, live in Canaan. Everybody, Kol Yoshvei, those who sit, those who live in Canaan, they were vanished. Poof, because they got scared. Az nivhalu alufei Edom, Elei Moav, Yochazemo Ra'ad, Namogu Kol Yoshvei Canaan. All right, the next verse. Fear and dread shall fall upon them. By the greatness of thine arm they shall be as still as a stone, till thy people pass over, O Lord, till the people pass over, which thou hast purchased. So the order here is different from here, because here, this is the subject, fear and dread, and this is the verb, shall fall, and it will fall upon them. And in Hebrew, the subject is here, Eimata v'fachad. Eimata, it's from Eima. Also a terror, fear, v'fachad. Pachad is also fear and dread. So, and this is the verb, tipol, from nafal. Aleihem, upon them. On the enemies, right? Tipol aleihem, eimata v'fachad. Bigdol zroacha, by the greatness of thine arm. Bigdol is from gadol. Gadol is big, huge. Zroacha, hazroa shelcha, your arm. Idmu, the verb, from the shoresh damam, dalid memem, be as still. They will not move. They will be like stone. Ka'aven, again tzurat hefsek. Even, but here aven, ka'aven, kemo even, kemo aven, ka'aven. Ad ya'avor amcha Adonai. This is the Lord. Amcha, the people, ha'am shelcha, your people, until ad ya'avor shall pass, until your people will, pass. And again, ad ya'avor, am, zu, kanita. So, this is the verb. And again, I don't think that God has bought the Jewish people, but I think that the meaning is when God chose the Jews, they became His. So He has to save them, and we belong to God because He chose them. Because God doesn't have any money, right? It's a metaphor. Tipol alehem, eimata v'fachad, bigdol zroacha, idmu ka'aven, ad ya'avor amcha Adonai, ad ya'avor amzu kanita. Verse 17, quite long. Let's read it quickly in English. Thou shalt bring them in and plant them in the mountain of thine inheritance, in the place, O Lord, which thou hast made for thee to dwell in in the sanctuary, O Lord, which thy hands have established. Here the poet talks about the future, when God is taking the Jewish people and bring him to the land, to the territory which he is giving to them. So, tevi'emo, ata tavi otam, in one word, is from the verb lehavi. Tevi'emo, in the future. Otam, ata tavi otam, tevi'emo, vetita'emo. So this is thou shalt bring them, and this is thou shalt plant them. Tita'emo, from the verb lintoa, to plant, and ti, this is the future, right? Ta'emo, tita otam. You will plant them, behar nachalatcha. Har is the mountain. Nachalatcha, hanachala shelcha. Nachala is land, the place where God will give to the Jews, like the state of Israel. This will be their home. And in this Nachala territory, God has made a sanctuary, right? And this will be his dwelling, his place. So, machon shivtecha pa'alta, from the verb pa'al, lif'ol, to make, to do, to prepare, and in there, leshivtecha, shevet, where God is going to dwell, machon is the place, God, Adonai, mikdash, the sanctuary, the temple, Adonai, the Lord, konenu yadecha, yadecha, your hands, yadaim shelcha, and konenu, have established. So, in the land of Israel, there shall be, it's like a vision, the temple, the Holy of Holiness, the sanctuary of God, which God has made. Tevi'emo vetita'emo behar nachalatcha, machon leshivtecha pa'alta, Adonai, mikdash, Adonai konenu yadecha. Verse 18, in the end of this vision, the Lord shall reign forever and ever. The Lord, Adonai, shall reign, imloch, from the verb malach. God, hu imloch, le'olam va'ed, forever and ever. Le'olam, olam is also world, but here le'olam va'ed is forever and ever. Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed. Verse 19, we're back to the story with the Egyptians in the Red Sea and the Jews and what happens, the conclusion. For the horse of Pharaoh went in with his chariots and with his horsemen into the sea, and the Lord brought again the waters of the sea upon them. But the children of Israel went on dry land in the midst of the sea. The horse of Pharaoh, sus, horse, paro. Indefiniteness, we don't have to use the of because in Hebrew, indefiniteness. Sus paro, הסוס של פרעה. ברכבו, his chariots. הרכב שלו, הרכב של פרעה. ובפרשיו, הפרשים שלו, his horsemen. כי בא, the meaning is went in. And the verb relates to סוס פרעה and הרכב שלו and הפרשים שלו. They went into the sea. Bayam, yam is sea. Vayashev Adonai alehem, so God on them, he made them sank into the sea. Yashav, from the verb lehashiv, right? Et mei hayam, the waters, maim, of the sea, mei hayam. The meaning here, hu heshiv, he brought back the water, because if you remember in the story, the waters went into two parts, like one to the right and one to the left. And when the Egyptians went in, like God brought back the waters from both sides in onto the Egyptians, and they drowned. Uvnei Israel, the children, banim shel Israel. Israel, Israel. Banim shel, halchu, from the shoresh, halach, verb halach, halchu, in the past, went, on dry land, bayabasha. Yabasha is land. Halchu vayabasha, because no dagesh here, because there is a vav, ehevi. Uvetoch, betoch hayam, in the midst of the sea. Betoch, inside, in the midst. Hayam, the sea, in the sea. Kivasus paro berichbo vefarashav bayam, vayashev Adonai alehem et mei hayam, uvnei Israel halchu vayabasha betoch hayam. Now we can read this again, because I think that we understand more those verses 10 to 19. So let's do it with drama and action. נשפת ורוחך כיסה ים, צללו כעופרת במים אדירים. מי כמוך באלים, אדוני, מי כמוך נעדר בקודש, נורא תהילות עושה פלא. נטית ימינך, תבלעמו ארץ. נחית וחסדך, עמזו גאלת. נהלת ועוזך, אל נווה קודשך. שמעו עמים, ירגזון, חיל אחז יושבי פלשת. אז נבהלו אלופי אדום, אלי מואב יוחזמו רעד, נמוגו כל יושבי כנען. תיפול עליהם אימתה ופחד, בגדול זרועך ידמו כאבן, עד יעבור עמך אדוני, עד יעבור עמזו קניתה. תביאמו ותתאמו בהר נחלתך, מכון לשבטך פעלת, אדוני, מקדש, אדוני כוננו ידיך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, כי בא סוס פרעה ברכבו ופרשיו בים, וישב אדוני עליהם את מי הים, ובני ישראל הלכו ביבשה, בתוך הים. That was a very beautiful poem, and I have a question. Would you like me to make a video in which I will be explaining how to write the Hebrew alphabet? Do you feel that you need this exercise? Maybe this will help you memorizing the Hebrew alphabet for some of you. So please let me know in the comments below about this. Thank you. And in the meantime, lehitraot. I will see you in the next video. נתראה בסרטון הבא.